Hub on Hollywood, an iHeartRadio podcast. I am your co-host, James Rojas.
I'm the other co-host, Jamie Blanco.
And on this week's episode, Jamie and I are reviewing two movies, one that is a must-watch, and another that is extremely difficult to watch, physically, from what I'm told. Along with some local film festival news. But first, Jamie, we have to talk about what's going on in California, the tragedy that's continuing to unfold in Los Angeles as several wildfires have destroyed entire neighborhoods that are very known to be very affluent and to be home to many celebrities, movie stars, and everyone in that lane.
Right.
So I'm from Los Angeles. I'm from the Los Angeles, Southern California area. And so we are no strangers to wildfires. And I've covered as a reporter, many wildfires. However, what I'm looking at, like the video and the reports that we're seeing coming out from there, this is uncomparable. It's insane how bad, how large and how devastating these wildfires are, specifically, where they are hitting and impacting people. Jamie, what are your initial thoughts on hearing, we'll talk about the celebrity impact in a minute or two, but just in general, like 10,000 properties damaged or lost, at least 11 dead, countless more evacuated. It's insane.
You never think that you're going to see Los Angeles burning to the ground. For as big as it is and as densely populated as it is, and in particular these neighborhoods where, this is the beautiful, what do they say, the famous and the fabulous, that live out there, and that's sort of the rich and the famous, most beautiful part, right, of living out there, just burning to the ground. And I think what blows my mind the most, James, are these winds, no pun intended. You are from Los Angeles, like you said. What the heck is up with these Santa Ana winds? And it just, for comparison, right now there's a nice gentle snow outside. On this side of the country, it's snow and ice. The other side of the country, it is just fire. I think that people maybe here in the New England area don't understand the winds that are fueling this, because I don't think it's something that happens here.
Yeah, a lot of people are, who are not familiar with wildfires or how wildfires behave, are very surprised with how caught off guard so many people in this part of LA County were. And people don't know or realize that wildfires can travel extremely fast, covering the span of an entire football field in seconds. Like, imagine that, an entire football field in seconds. And a big part of that is being fueled by the Santa Ana winds. They're very well known in the area. They're infamous. Sometimes, it's not uncommon to feel 40, 50 mile per hour winds in the canyons, where these winds, they're kind of funneled in this kind of canyonous area of Los Angeles. And people know that when the winds are very strong, like, it's not uncommon to see semi-truck trailers tipped over on the side of the freeway because the winds just blow them over. That's how strong they can be. In this scenario, California got hit with a double whammy. One, of course, the wildfires erupted somehow. Some people are looking into, are investigating whether it's arson. And then also on top of that, you have 190 mile per hour winds blowing constantly at a consistent rate for hours. And then you have the fire, you have the winds, you have all this dry brush and these dry conditions because of the ongoing drought. It's a perfect storm. It's a perfect firestorm for this kind of scenario. And it's one of those, it's not an unkept quote, like an unkept secret. Everybody in that area knows that if the conditions are right, their homes can be lost. And unfortunately, all the conditions came together at one point and started this. And so right now, as I mentioned, we have so many evacuations under effect, millions of people displaced. We have people on alert, being told that they can be evacuated soon. 10,000 structures damaged, at least 11 dead. And of course, this is the area where a lot of celebrities live.
Right.
the Palisades, Malibu, up in Pasadena, Burbank area. And so we are getting a list of celebrities who have not only been evacuated, but they've lost their homes entirely. Among them include Mandy Moore, Miles Teller of Top Gun Maverick, Milo Ventimiglia. He's he's on the show This Is Us. Also Billy Crystal. This one actually, I know Billy Crystal, everyone loves him. And one thing that he talked about, him and his wife released a statement saying that, all the memories that are gone. And I can only imagine somebody like Billy Crystal who has maybe letters or pictures from celebrity friends, people who've passed away. One that sticks to my mind is Robin Williams. Imagine the memorabilia or memories of say Robin Williams that are now gone, or anybody else, A-list Hollywood actor who may not be with us anymore, and all those priceless pieces of material going up in flames. It's incredible.
The history. The treasures that are being lost, not to mention the lives. I feel really badly too for those people with young families. Paris Hilton lost her home. She just had a baby. They just welcomed their latest baby via surrogate. So yes, Paris Hilton lost their home. You sent me an image of my man, of my hero, Harrison Ford, being forced to leave his home, sitting in a squad car and being forced to evacuate. I'm not sure if his home was destroyed, but it doesn't matter if you are a celebrity or what. You're a human being who's losing their home, losing all of their memories, losing all of their documents. It's just brutal. So the Hollywood Hills, right, on fire. And it's not only impacting people's lives, obviously, but Hollywood in general and the award show season, right?
Yeah, so right now we're being told that the Oscars nominations list, that is being postponed. The AFI Awards, that has been scheduled. Had been scheduled for Friday, but now it's been postponed. The Critics' Choice Awards were scheduled for Sunday. Those have been postponed until February 26th. The Producers Guild Awards, they announced their delay of their nominations announcement from Friday to Sunday. Oscar nominations, as I said, have been delayed 2 days to January 19th. And so, they've extended their voting period as well. So award season, and again, at the end of the day, this is the least concern.
Right.
It should not be cried about or worried about over. It's those lives lost, the firefighters who are there on the front lines, interviewing people, showing people the destruction. One thing that, again, and a shout out to local news. As a reporter myself and somebody who's covered wildfires in California, it's amazing because unlike many other states, California, its reporters are allowed to go into evacuation zones. So wherever firefighters are, wherever police are, you could be right up behind a firefighter as long as you're in a safe distance. You can be right there up on the flames reporting because California law allows you to do that. And one thing that I haven't heard many people complain about media being there because you often hear people being happy to be able to get a live picture of what's going on in their neighborhood. And times where I've covered stories in California, I would get tweets. People would tweet me messages, hey, can you go to this address and see if this home is still standing? And so kudos to the news reporters, the anchors who've been working in incredibly dangerous conditions to tell the story, to report what's going on, to keep people up to date with evacuation notices and alerts. So it's a very tough situation for everybody right now. So
kudos to them. Kudos to them, like you said, but also shame on some other people. There have been notices going out, in particular for some of those in the film community who are trying to take this emergency as an opportunity to go into areas that they're not allowed to be in to get the shot, get the money shot and to work on maybe creating a documentary. Yeah.
So the picture you sent, I'm assuming that's somebody who works in the industry, and I guess they were talking about seeing a notice about like work wanted to go into areas to shoot film of the fires or the destruction. Is that right?
Right, exactly. And then what the people in the industry on this industry page were warning was that this is not a good idea, that unless you have authorization, like you are a first responder or you are a reporter, you are not allowed in those areas, and that the consequences are very severe. You face imprisonment, you risk putting other people's lives in danger and your life in danger. So the message kind of just going out there, just don't. This is not the time to get the shot for your next award-winning documentary. It's a state of emergency and people's lives are really at risk. So just be aware that if that's the route you're going to go, you could face prison for that.
Yeah, don't do that. But what you can do is donate to help. And there are different organizations, including the Red Cross, where you can donate if you want to help out those affected. Again, it's not just celebrities or, quote, rich people that have been affected, even though they have been. But there are people who've lived in those areas for years or decades. And, they're just like, quote, normal people like you and myself and living in these homes. Again, not all these are mansions. Some of them are just regular, like 2, 3 bedroom homes that they've lived in or their family have lived in for years, and they've been affected as well. And so, I guess what's his name? The guy who plays Dwight Schrute in The Office,
Rainn Wilson. Rainn Wilson
lost his home. Who else? Mel Gibson lost his home. So those are just a couple of celebrities that popped in my head. But again, if you want to donate to help, the American Red Cross, United Way of Greater Los Angeles, Emergency Network Los Angeles, also the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank, California Community Foundation, California Fire Foundation. You can support the LA Fire Department by donating to the LAFD Foundation. A lot of great places, including animal rescue organizations. And lastly, a big shout out to Jamie Lee Curtis. She was among those who were evacuated due to the Palisades fire. She and her family are pledging $1 million to start a fund of support for those affected by the fires. She announced it on Instagram on Thursday, saying that she was on the Tonight Show. She was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and she was saying right after that, that scheduled interview, she would be flying back to California, and she was saying, just talking about the importance of needing to be ready, helping those who are in need of help. So kudos to Jamie Lee Curtis for getting the word out. The Recording Academy also pledging $1 million to help musicians whose lives have been affected by the fires. So good stuff all around in that regard. But yeah, our thoughts are with those in California, in Los Angeles. I have several friends who've been evacuated. I know some colleagues in LA who've also lost their homes. So we're thinking of you and wishing you the best. But no easy way to transition out of this. But we gotta transition out and bringing the Hollywood, the celebrity, the filmmaking angle back to the East Coast, back to Massachusetts. We have several film festivals taking place this winter that you need to be aware of, I think.
Yes, exactly. We're in the cold months, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. It's snowing outside. We just had a whole week of really high winds as well, but bitter cold temperatures, negative degree wind chills for about a week straight. You might need to get out of the house, James. You might need to warm your heart a little bit with some films, with some art, reconnect with other human beings. And if you love movies like we love movies, there are a number of festivals, as you mentioned, film festivals that you should check out. And we're going to start with the Boston Festival of Films from Iran. which I think is super interesting. That's going to be playing at the Museum of Fine Arts from January 17th through February 7th. Very interesting stuff. Also in Belmont's World Film Family Festival is going to be January 18th through the 20th and January 26th. That's going to be taking place at the West Newton Cinema, the Brattle Theater, which is pretty famous as well. And those are going to be focusing on children's stories, book to screen sort of stories that have made it to film. James, do you have this list in front of you?
Yeah, we also have the Projecting Connections, Chinese American Experiences. Is that a film festival, or is that just an event?
That's going to be events and films.
Gotcha. Well, we also have the Boston Sci-Fi Film Festival and Marathon. Ooh. That's taking place February 12th through the 17th at the Somerville Theater, and you can also stream it online. That's always
one I'm
fun
looking
in case you
forward
don't want to go out in the cold. Yeah. On February 28th through March 17th, there'll be the Boston Baltic Film Festival. That's taking place at Arts Emerson's Paramount Center, also online.
Yes, that one almost sold out last year. And just really cool shows, I think, come out of like the Baltics and things like that. It's just always interesting to get like another perspective on film and storytelling that isn't just, that American perspective. But plenty of options there, James. That's 6 festivals to look forward to. So many more coming up in the months ahead, and the Hub in Hollywood's going to try to make a few more of these every year and bring more interesting creatives here to the podcast so that you can hear from them. Be sure to check out all of our social medias, check back on our podcast on YouTube and on streaming on iHeartRadio, and check out all of the amazing interviews that we've already done up until this point.
Yeah.
Where can people find us, James?
A shout out to our new subscribers as well. I think we started the new year with 318 subscribers. Now we have climbed to 324 subscribers.
Woo!
It is our New Year's resolution to crack the 400 subscriber mark. And and again, we appreciate you watching us on YouTube, where you can, of course, subscribe, join the conversation. We'll give you some shout outs, which we can do in a minute as well. But also, we are streaming everywhere you listen to podcasts, as Jamie said. If you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a great review. Leave all the stars, the highest star ranking you can. Tell your friends about us. Also on Spotify. Again, those good reviews, those listens, those downloads really do help out the podcast. So be sure to give us some love right there. But let's give some love to some of those comments that we did get. We got some folks commenting on the Nosferatu review post that we did. One of them, let's see, we have several one person, Halloween Friday. Shout out to Halloween Friday. He says that, or they say they absolutely loved Nosferatu. As someone who loves Robert Eggers' films since The Witch came out, his latest vampire film is easily his masterpiece. We have someone else, however, who goes by Don Hooligan. He says Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves are much more entertaining. So to each their own opinion. But we love those opinions. So. We love that feedback.
Yes. And we are going to continue to bring you our opinions. There's a couple of films that we're talking about today, James, that we've got reviews on. If people should obviously go back and check out your Nosferatu review, because it was really, really good last episode. But what movies are we talking about today?
So we're talking about movies, some that are getting critical acclaim, others critically bashed, maybe, if that's fair to say, if I've seen the correct reviews. I don't know if you want to go first or I should go first, because I enjoyed my movie. It sounds like you didn't quite enjoy your movie.
Yeah. Why don't we start with the good, and then we'll go to the bad and the ugly?
All right. So I watched Anora. Anora, this film by Sean Baker, came out about 2 months ago. I know it's one of those films that came out a little while ago at the end of last year, and buzz has just been growing and growing, and word of mouth has been fantastic. So this is one of those films where I've been meaning to get to it, and eventually I got to it, and very, very happy. So Anora, again, this non-spoiler review, because I feel like you should watch this either in the theaters or streaming on demand, something that I did, and I enjoyed it just as much as I'm sure I would have in the theater. But Anora, a young escort and stripper from Brooklyn, gets her chance at a Cinderella story when she meets and impulsively meets the son of a Russian oligarch. Once news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as the parents set out for New York to get the marriage annulled. As I mentioned, this was directed and written by Sean Baker. This stars the amazingly brilliant Mikey Madison as Annie, or Anora. She also goes by Anora. Some of these names I'm going to butcher because they are from Russia. They're Russian actors, and their names are also written as such. But Mark Edelstein, he plays Ivan. He plays the 21-year-old, son of an oligarch married couple. So he's rolling in the dough. We also have Yura Borsov. He plays Igor. Karen Koruglian. He is Toros. And Vak Toys Mason. He is Garnick. Overall thoughts, I went into this film already knowing that it's getting really good reviews, and I'm happy to say that it has lived up to expectations. Not only is this a fun and funny movie, but it also handles very, very dramatic moments very well, and dramatic moments and heavy topics and it doesn't go, again, this fairy tale doesn't end how you expect it to end. Again, I've been hearing good buzz about this movie, and so I intentionally avoided all reviews for this film. But after I watched it, I had time to collect my thoughts. I went to my usual, YouTube movie reviewers, and I'm so happy that I wasn't the only one who described this movie this way, because this is how I was thinking about it in my mind. It starts out as Pretty Woman, but then it morphs into Uncut Gems. It has both of those vibes. It's a really fun movie. Jamie, before I go on with this, with the, how things roll out, any questions so far? It sounds like you've heard of this movie.
I've heard of this movie. I saw some of the trailers for it. I thought it looked really interesting and really colorful. I was just going to ask you, you talked a little bit about this being sort of on the fun side. Is it also dramatic, and I wanted to ask you what the visuals were like too?
Yeah, so I would say this is like a dramedy. It's dramatic, it's comedy, with heavy topics.
Yeah, it seems heavy.
Again, yeah. There's some moments where I'm like laughing out loud, and other moments where I'm just like in disbelief of like, oh, that's effed up, that's messed up. And so it's I would call it a dark comedy, but it's not directly a comedy. There's just a lot of funny moments that happen in it. A lot of likable characters who do funny things or silly things, and it works with the film. Mikey Madison, she's excellent in this film. She plays this tough-as-nails character who is not afraid to stand her ground and literally fight for what she wants. And she expresses the mundane work life, excitement, ecstasy, anger, and grief, all those emotions in this film. It starts out with Anora working at a strip club, and that's where she meets the character Ivan, a 21-year-old guy from Russia who is, again, living the high life off his parents' dime. The relationship starts out as a transactional experience where he pays for her services, but then, things morph into... feelings grow, that relationship grows as well during this very short, 1 or 2 week period. And then they eventually run off and get married in Las Vegas. This isn't a spoiler, but that's when things, start rolling into motion, when his caretakers who work for his parents learn about the marriage, and then they find out we got to get this marriage annulled because we can't have this, our son married to the stripper, and what that would mean for this rich family. And that's when things go off the rails, and it's really entertaining to watch. Again, I can't go into spoilers, but I will say that every character, very fun watching this film. Great character development throughout. The characters who initially you're kind of indifferent to, or you don't know if you're going to like them, you end up liking the most. And then there are other characters who you kind of like, okay, you understand where they're coming from. And then at the end of the movie, you're like, I don't like you at all. You're just a POS right there.
Yeah.
So, I can't recommend this movie enough. Go watch it again, either in the theaters or on demand. I will say, though, do not watch this with children because there is nudity. And maybe don't watch it with your parents, and depending if you don't feel comfortable with said nudity, but there's plenty of it in there. It does not distract from the film. It adds to it. It's tastefully done, if that's a right way to say it for the type of film. But it's a good one. It's a really good movie. One of the best.
Relevant to the plot.
That came out in 2024. Yeah, it does.
So are these, do you get Moulin Rouge vibes here?
Not necessarily. I don't know. I'm not sure if I would have compared it to that. That. I love Moulin Rouge, but I'm not sure if I would have gotten to that. But again, it takes place in New York, and it has a lot of night shots, like in the streets, where Annie and these henchmen and this caretaker of Ivan are running through the streets and going different places. Again, kind of an Uncut Gems kind of vibe, where they're trying to accomplish something, but keep hitting roadblocks in kind of hilarious manners.
I like it.
And so you get some really fun, like out on the street, at restaurant, diner, interactions. And so it's a very fun watch.
Okay. And where can people see it?
In theaters right now or on demand. So I rented it for $10. Totally worth it. You can buy it digitally for $20, which I think would be worth it as well.
All right. So Anora, definitely on the go watch it list. But James, I was not as fortunate as you. And again, it might be because I'm a heartless monster. Okay, because this film, I went with my son. My son actually dragged me to the theater to go see Mufasa, the Lion King. A Lion King story, a Lion King prequel story, live action. And this movie, it had a tremendous budget. What's that?
That was your mistake right there, going to see it.
Yeah, I mean, what could I do? I'm not, I'm a good mommy, James. I'm a good mommy.
Yeah.
$200 million budget on this film, which they got back. It has actually done very well. It's made over twice its budget, just under $500 million worldwide so far, making it one of the top grossing films of 2024. But James, and just looking at this film, it's one of these live actions, hyper CGI, super digital, 4, 5, 6K. I don't know how many Ks you can get in there, but there's so many pixels that your brain cannot comprehend. I couldn't look at this movie. Not only could I not look at this movie, it made me physically ill looking at this movie. And I'm not saying that to be facetious or sarcastic. Literally, I got a headache and motion sickness from watching this movie, and so did my 4-year-old, who's now 5. Desi turned 5, by the way. Yeah. Happy birthday to
congratulations.
my soon-to-be kindergartner. But in the middle of the movie, she comes over, she's cuddling me, she's like, I don't feel good, I've got a tummy ache. And I can tell you exactly what it is. It's because the camera never stops moving, right? Yeah. And it's a fake computer camera looking at a fake character on a fake computer background, and everything is in constant motion with, like I said, billions of pixels that your brain can barely comprehend, and it's like you're always moving and it's going so fast and you can't even focus on the characters because even the background is so detailed, everything sort of blurs together. It just, oh my god, I felt like I was on a spinning roller coaster ride that wouldn't stop, and I'm trying to focus on the story but I can't keep my eyes open.
I like how
I don't know if you've ever experienced
to the story
that.
yet. Like that, we're just talking about like visually taking this in through our retinas is a incredible experience.
Just being able to physically look at it with your eyeballs was very, very difficult for me. And my daughter, I'd say that, the story is decent enough. You've got you've got the original cast back. You've got 93-year-old James Earl Jones back doing the voice of old Mufasa in some of the flashbacks.
He's dead, right? Like they got him before he died?
Is he dead? I thought he was 93. I thought he was still alive.
No, he's dead.
Hold on.
James Earl Jones is dead.
He does not reprise his role. You're right.
So here's the thing too. Disney, we talked about this too. He actually gave Disney the rights to his voice. So maybe they used like another actor and then put like his voice software over that actor. Maybe that's what's going on.
That's so Darth Vader. That is so Darth Vader. And that is so I want to say cringe, but also, seeing as this is like a CGI abomination, it makes sense. But also that's also kind of nauseating, don't you think? I thought he must have died.
No. We had an episode dedicated to him, I believe.
Wow, I'm the worst. Can we reshoot this? Can we re-record this?
Oh, absolutely not. This is staying in.
Guys, I'm just a person, okay? We do this podcast for fun. Those kids, I got 2 kids upstairs. They're taking all of my brain cells. But I was gonna say it didn't sound quite like him. Is kind of where I was going, and I thought it was because he was 93, but it's actually because he was dead and digitized.
They went to. I was gonna be blasphemous. They went to his grave and just stuck a mic, like just a little more
down
James.
into the.
Just a little
into the
bit
casket and said go.
Just 2 minutes, and we'll leave you alone.
Oh my God. Come on. Let the man rest. Let the man rest. Let sleeping lions, let dead lions lie. But look, the story was good enough. We've got the prequel, this is not too much of a spoiler, but it starts with Simba. It actually starts with Simba and Simba's children. And they're being told the story of their grandfather by Timon and Pumbaa. And Timon and Pumbaa, they've got their brand of humor. All of this could have worked so much better if it was just a cartoon. If it was just a traditional cartoon in the same style of the original, I feel like this would have been so much more enjoyable to watch. And but the way that it was, like, I'm looking at these hyper realistic, like, warthog and whatever the hell the other one is,
meerkat,
and they're doing their shtick, they're doing their slapsticky shtick, and it just doesn't fit together, James. None of this is fitting together. It's all AI nonsense, and I don't like it, and it made me sick to both my stomach and my soul. But for some reason, it did really well in the box office, and a lot of people like this, but you know what? I don't like it. So I'm just gonna go out there and say no more. Like, I don't know, Jay. You didn't even want to watch it, right?
Of course not. No, of course not. I've forbidden everybody I know to watch it. And you deliberately disobeyed me. And what's worse, you put Nikki in danger.
All right, Darth Vader, chill.
That was Mufasa. Let's see.
Deliberately disobeyed me. Well, same voice actor. I'm failing so hard in this episode, guys.
No,
please,
you're great. I love it.
Subscribe to the Hub on Hollywood.
We're gonna clip this.
And don't clip this and put it in
a TikTok. No, my thing is that the Lion King remake was not. People didn't really love it either. It made $1 billion,
really?
But people really didn't. Yeah, it made $1 billion, but people didn't like it. They were complaining about how too realistic it was, how uncanny it was, but that didn't stop people from watching it. The Fast and the Furious movies, notoriously not that good, but it makes $1 billion. The Transformers movies, notoriously bad movies, but they make $1 billion. So I'm not surprised that this movie also made a lot of money. So it's just the state of our society at the moment.
It's society's fault. It's people's fault. It's America's fault.
America, thank you, America. But let me ask you, what did you think about the tool of it being told, the prequel being told like by Rafiki and Timon and Pumbaa to Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy, who's playing Kira? Like, was that necessary?
Right.
I think they just needed Beyonce back and like Donald Glover back, right? And like, is that why that they did this? I don't know.
Well, you know what? I think it offers a little bit of relief to the children in the audience who are watching what is sometimes a little bit too intense and sort of violent of a backstory. And it kind of breaks up the story in a way and provides comedic relief that makes it a little bit more digestible for the children in the audience. And as a plot device, you know, as a way of storytelling, it's fine. You know, like I said, I think it would have been a lot more effective as a cartoon. But otherwise, it was decent. It's fine. It was fine. I had no problem with that part.
Yeah, if your eyes were closed and you're just listening to the movie, then you should be fine.
I can't believe I couldn't even look at the screen. And it wasn't because of my principles, even though I was violating those as well. Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
What were your thoughts on the music? Because there is one song that's gone viral for how bad it sounds, and that's the Brother song. Don't talk about my brother. He's my brother. Where is my brother? Like, what is up with that? Like, that's gone viral on TikTok and like Instagram as being like, what are we watching right now?
It's not as bad as the Bye-Bye villain song, where the villain is literally just singing do 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 bye-bye do 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 bye-bye. Like,
I need to watch this now on YouTube. Just that clip.
No.
But yeah, what Lin-Manuel Miranda did these songs, right? But they are not good. Is that right?
I think God, I love Lin. These didn't maybe land on all fours like a kitty cat should.
Yeah, he wrote several songs for it, including Tell Me It's You, Bye-Bye, I Always Wanted a Brother, We Go Together, and Brother Betrayed.
You know what?
The thing is,
here's my observation. Lin-Manuel's brand of music, which is more like rap, hip-hop, fusion, doesn't quite fit in with the kind of soundtrack that you would expect or, you know, want from a Lion King movie, right? You want, and you want like that huge soundscape and these big, you know, overwhelming soundtrack pieces of art. Whereas I think Lin-Manuel's brand is a few steps down from that, right? It's not
more theatrical, more for Broadway.
Right. More theatrical and less like whole orchestra. That's my observation. What do you think?
I mean, again, from what I've heard, it just doesn't sound good at all. And I was going to say also, when the trailer came out and we talked about it on the Hub on Hollywood, I remember pointing out there's a part in the trailer where Taka or whatever, he's like, I've always wanted a brother. And like in the trailer, the word brother, I always wanted a brother. Like that repeats 3 times in the trailer by itself. And I remember hearing that. And I'm like, what the heck is this? I may pull the clip up right now of me talking about that. But I was like, what is that? What are we doing here? And then when this song came out and they're like, I have no idea what happened. This doesn't sound like like the Lion King or anything that should be in the Lion King. Goodness. Well, should people watch this in the movie theater? Should they wait for Disney Plus? Should they do what James does and exile it, banish these movies to the afterlife? I don't know.
Banish them from the Pride Lands. Banish them from the Pride Lands. Do not deliberately disobey James.
There we go.
Just don't. Because the consequences are apparently dire. I don't know. Yes, banish. And hey, can we all collectively come together and just agree that these movies suck so that they stop getting made and they stop making billions of dollars? I want to see more Fall Guys.
Jamie, this is partly your fault.
Me?
You went
what
to
did
go
I
see
do?
it. You went to go see it. You paid money to see the movie.
My child made me do it. I love my child.
You are bigger than your child. You can hold your child down.
I'm bigger than my child.
You can physically restrain
Next
him, I'm
time
sure.
I will break his heart. I will be
Please.
like, no, we're teaching you better in this household.
And they won't make a Mufasa prequel too. I guarantee it. If every parent in America held their child down and said, no, we're watching Lilo and Stitch, the original one, or watching the original Lion King, or even like the animated sequels, Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, or Lion King 1.5 with Timon and Pumbaa, and they're like, those are fun movies. Like that's what you should do. That's what parents in America should do. Unite and ruin these studios' chances, or having them think they can keep doing this and getting away with it. It's not fair.
We need a support group, and we will. Yeah, we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna make this happen, James. We're gonna get everyone together.
United we stand. Divided Disney rises.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. They're gonna come for us now.
Well, let us know what you think. Those who are watching us on YouTube or listening to us on any of the major podcasting streaming services, have you seen Anora? What are your thoughts? Do you love it as much as I do, or do you think it's just another okay movie? Those who've watched Mufasa, why do you hate Mufasa? Tell me. Why do you regret going to the movie theater and watching it? Tell us.
Because there's no other option, right?
Absolutely. That was fun. This is fun. But let's know what you really think. If you enjoyed Mufasa, let us know. Maybe we're wrong.
We're never wrong. We're never wrong.
We're never wrong, except for the time we thought James Earl Jones was still alive. Other than that time, we're never wrong. I tease.
Okay, anyways.
What fun. Okay, Jamie.
We're professionals. Yeah, James.
We're professionals. Do you know what time it is?
It is time to kick some trivia butt. That's what time it is.
Absolutely. I didn't know there was a strong delay there, or if you were just building up anticipation. But yes.
A little bit of both. I think a little bit of both.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's see. Well, let's go. We're going to play today's game of Cinequote. We haven't played in a while, but this is our first game in the new year. So join us if you are able to. We're going to be playing number 758. Game number 758. It is not a Sunday Stumpa, so hopefully we get this right, or else we shall be forever embarrassed. Jamie, are you ready to play today's game?
I am ready to play this game. I refuse to be more embarrassed than I have already embarrassed myself today, so let's get it.
Excellent. So we'll play in 3, 2, 1.
You ever wonder how your mom and me got to be so darn happy?
Nope.
Well, we gave up on our dreams and we settled. Right, Bond?
Oh, this sounds very familiar. Oh, wait. Oh.
I don't...
Oh, this sounds so familiar.
You got it?
No, it sounds very familiar. It's like at the tip of my tongue, on top of my brain.
Oh, boy.
I'll play one more time.
You ever wonder how your mom and me got to be so darn happy?
Nope.
Well, we gave up on our dreams and we settled. Right, Bond?
I think we may need a next quote, but this sounds very familiar.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go for the next one.
3, 2, 1.
I trusted you, Nikki. I welcomed you into my home.
Oh.
We broke bread together. Grandmama made you a cannoli. And how did you repay my generosity? With a rug made from the butt of a skunk. A skunk butt rug.
The funny thing is, I haven't seen this full movie. It's the one, it's not Flushed Away. Is it Flushed Away? It's like some rats. It's not Ratatouille. I don't think it's Ratatouille, but it's like some rats.
You are absolutely correct.
Is it Flush?
Pixar, right? Flushed Away?
Yeah.
Let's give it a try.
Let's see. 2006. Let's give it a try. No. Yeah, those are also I think rats. But I can imagine that little shrew.
It does have a character named
playing
Mickey.
The Godfather. Yeah, like there's a shrew. I could see the character like that little Godfather shrew in my head.
The Godfather shrew.
Oh, I can't. Yeah. It's right at the tip of my tongue. Like,
come on, you can do it.
I know.
Come on, brain. You want to play one more?
Yeah, let's do one more. In 3, 2, 1.
I want to be a real...
Oh, Zootopia.
Do you think the man asked what I wanted when he assigned you to me?
But sir,
Life isn't some cartoon musical where you sing a little song and your insipid dreams magically come true. So let it go.
Okay, Zootopia is the guess. Yay!
So, that's funny. Yeah, so, most people got it. 34% got it on the third guess. Zootopia, yeah. So I did see this movie. But that shrew part, I remember that little guy. Cool. Did you, at home, at work, driving around, listening to the podcast, Hub on Hollywood, know it was Zootopia on the first guess? Because I didn't, clearly. But,
Flushed Away was a great guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I think that was a good guess, too. I just remember, like, small animals and the bunnies, they ring a bell. All right, Jamie, great episode. Again, for those of you who want to help out with the LA fires, we have, again, that information at the top of the episode if you want to rewind and go back of all the organizations where you can donate either, money, maybe even your time if you are in the area to help out those affected by the wildfires. Also, let us know what are your thoughts on Mufasa. What are your thoughts on Anora? We're still trying to set up some local interviews with some local talents, those in the filmmaking industry in New England. So if you are one of those talents or folk, please reach out to us, hubonhollywood@gmail.com. We'd love to have you on to talk about whatever project you're working on, because we love giving people a microphone, a spotlight, and help out in any way we can. Jamie, anything else you want to
add? We rock.
We rock and
roll. all of you rock. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. Thank you for donating to help the folks in California. I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks, James. You're going to keep us entertained and informed while I'm gone. So
We're
just
the
sending
secret guest host.
Secret guest host. That's right. So you got to stick around, find out who the secret guest host is, and I will see you when I see you. Thank you for listening to The Hub on Hollywood. Until next time, I'm Jamie.
I'm James.
Adios.